love when I ask a perfectly reasonable question and I get to scold and yelling in response. It's wonderful. Any cats in the audience? What the fuck? We're a furry event with no cats in the audience.
No sleep.
Sleeper kitty.
Thank you.
There we go. Any dragons in the audience? See, usually this joke would be any cats, way, any wolves, way, any dragons, way. Anyone else? No, that didn't work yet. My jokes are all. So, how's everyone enjoying the con so far? Again, yes. Anyway, has anyone arrived here tonight after work?
Yes.
Pro, absolute pro. And you as well, supposedly. Love coming to Confuzzled. You come to enough of these events and you start noticing things. I mean, first of all, you start learning how to play Spot the Furry on your journey over, which is always fun. You know, a couple of people, you know, got stickers all over their suitcases, and then you get some really adorable cuties who like are brave enough to wear their tails on like trains and things like that, and some even more adorable cuties who are brave enough to wear their badge items. Inspirational. The thing that gets me every single fucking time is when I go to the dealer's den, meet a porn artist, and find out they are the most wholesome motherfucker in real life you could ever imagine. But, oh, hi dear, thank you so much for commissioning me again. It's always lovely to hear from you. What was that position called? I feel like we need to look at the search bubble, just in case. Oh gosh, you know what's even more brilliant is when you come in and start forgetting your jokes, but like, one thing I've seen in the news, has everyone else seen this in Texas? They're talking about trying to ban non-human behavior in schools, which basically means they're suddenly worried about furries because there's some kind of epidemic where teenagers are all of a sudden really obsessed with video games, cartoons, and porn. Obviously, this is a recent phenomenon, and only furries can be to blame. But what I love, well, I laugh at, because the world is a horrible place and you can't laugh at it. So laugh at the evil is what I say. But what I keep imagining is, how are they going to try and root out the furries in the schools? Some kind of thirst trap? I don't know. Just throw tennis balls down the corridor and see what signs. Go on the intercom, whatever it is, and just saying, can you good boys please come to the front of the school where ice will be waiting for you. You know, just standing out in the car and just looking around and saying, Lugosi shipping is cringe! You're fucking cringe! Furry, get him right. Speaking of furries, let's talk about Musk.
That didn't take too long.
Sorry?
That didn't take too long.
No, it didn't. Well, he doesn't take too long, that's why that's something that's white. He's probably watching, so... What freaks me out about him is how often, well, not anymore so much when I wrote the jokes, but when you saw him at the White House, he was always carrying his son around with him. And the reason this irks me is because my sister recently had a child, her second. Absolutely love him to pieces. I'm going to make sure he's raised right, or rather wrong in the furry sense. But one thing I noticed is, whenever I went over, she would always talk to her child to try and make me do something. Okay, so, I think Sean wants to play with your big sister while I change your nappy. I think Sean wants to make Mummy a cup of tea because she's so overworked. I'm like, yeah, I think I do, but she's not going to be a week old forever. And then I just see Elon carrying his kid around, and I'm just imagining him in the Oval Office like, I think the president wants to give me another cash influx, doesn't he? I don't think anyone wants to hold me accountable for the things I say online. I don't think anyone wants to assassinate me, do they? I mean, he's apparently having some kind of thing with his daughter as well, like he writes X-Men fanfiction with her. Something about Xavier being killed by the woke mind virus. Which I hope that's X-Men fanfiction, because if it's real life, then fucking hell. But anyway, are there any performers in who are ready for retirement? We have an absolute goat here. What kind of animal are you?
Sorry, I'm sorry, I missed the question. What the fuck?
I said you're an absolute goat. What kind of animal are you?
Dragon.
Dragon goat. Awesome. Got a horn? Got nothing else?
Hey, you got a list. What does the rules not matter anymore?
No? It's my event. think I put enough time to come up with rules? I will go by the list though. And I'll start by saying, please welcome to the stage, Hyene!
I'm quite a social anxious person, so but I kind of have the philosophy that you have to face your fears. So I'd like to share a story that I have, and that is the first time that I was taken to a strip club because so to set the scene, right. Back when I was 18, that's been a long time ago now, I've grown much more now. My stepdad was marrying my mum, and it was like, okay, we've got to have a stag night, and what do you do at a stag night? You take the husband-to-be to a strip club. That's just the natural progression of things. Now, I'm a hyena, so I'm a fairly stinky bean, of course, but more than that, socially anxious. The idea of going into a strip bar where there's lots of naked women, it's just quite intimidating for me, so I wasn't really looking forward to it. So, go out, get buried, and it's time for us to finally go to this establishment. Now, I'm kind of, okay, freaking out, but I'll come up with a plan, right? Like, because I don't like go up to someone and say, please, could you perform some kind of sexy dance? You know, oh God, that'd be so awkward. No. So I'm like, I have a plan. So, I'll go there, go to the toilets, pull out my flip phone at the time, play some Snake, not play with mistakes. Go there for 10 minutes, go out to the bar, get a drink, just kind of blend in with the crowd, and I'll leave. No spaghetti spills, no issues there, So I'm like, okay, that's a concrete plan. So we go to the establishment. Now, I'm like, look, I just want to get this over and done with. So I go to like the front of the queue of our party and pay the admission fee. They hand you, and I kid you not, a fairground ride ticket. You are expected to go up to one of the strippers and just, okay, I'd like a dance, please. Ooh, okay. So I'm like, okay, the plan's coming together. Like, I'm going downstairs into the gym, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I just gotta find the toilets, and I'm in. Right. I step down to the strip joint. There's a girl waiting for me, right? And she's like, do you want to dance? And I'm like, holy shit, right? This blows everything out of the water. Because I don't, she knows that I have not been in there and have come up. So I can't say I've got a ticket. Now, if I refuse her, am I saying that she's ugly? Am I saying that she's not appealing? So I go, sure, okay. Sure, you know what? Path of least resistance, let's do this. And I'm trying my best. So she takes me to one of the booths, right? And she starts doing her thing. Now, I'm bi, so most things, guys, gals, that's great. And in school, I developed a technique of, when you're bros, they're getting undressed, you maintain eye contact. You're just like, stare at your friend and go, nice balls. That doesn't make them kind of doesn't make them comfortable. So, what do? I'm a little uncomfortable. So she starts like strutting her stuff around, you know, doing all those kinds of dances. I maintain eye contact. It was awkward for her, it was awkward for me, right? If I was your regular hyena, that would probably be the end. The thing, you know, you're like, oh yeah, sure, that was an awkward moment. No. So she does her dance. I don't know how long it was. I just kind of was there for the ride. So she leans over to me and whispers something in my ear. It's polite to tip. Now, for that moment, I had just a sheer clarity of the situation because I was hyper aware. I only have a tenner in my pocket, right? £10. I fucking need a drink. But I don't want to be rude because, she's done the dance for me, she's performed her part of the contract. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but it'd be rude not to tip her. Compromise. So I went, gel change for a tenner. I didn't think about it at the time. I gave her £10 and she produced £5 and gave it to me. Right? I walk over to the bar and there's all my family, right? And they're like, yay, hi, you absolute dog, you getting in there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an absolute beast, yeah. And then hand that fiver over. Remember when you could buy a drink for £5? Holy shit. And then as I get my nice ice cold cider, I realised something. She didn't go away to get that £5 note. Where did she get the £5 note? And I'm like, oh God. Did she think that I was just trying to take it home with me to do God knows what to it? I'm like, oh God. But I have my drink, and it was all fine at the end of the day. It just haunts me sometimes. So that was the first time I've gone to a strip club.
That was an incredible story.
Yeah.
Don't worry though, it didn't come from anywhere dirty, just so you know. Yes, just to remind, or rather for the first time, since I was going to say it was for people who weren't here when you get, but we do have a sign-up sheet, and if you have not signed up via the convenient Telegram group, you can do so here. And yes, I will say it is now time for our next act, so please everyone put your hands, paws, or whatever else your hands identify as to Z. Yes, you want the mic stand?
Yes. Wow, there's a lot of people in here.
Imagine us naked.
Most awkward stand since Wonder of Youth.
I did try to tune my ukulele earlier, but I'm hoping it's still in tune. So, knocking around on my back.
I'm not sure if this stand fits this morning.
Oh no!
Well, that's alright, I can just try to project. I did a little bit of drama in school, so maybe
You could be a stand.
Okay.
Yeah. No, these stands do not fit the microphone.
Be the stand!
Oh, okay.
Be the stand!
Okay. Anyone got a preferred position for their stands or what?
Tripod! I'll be alright, I think I should be fine. Can everyone hear me in the back?
No.
What? No. That's not great. Okay, I guess I'm playing for this half of the room. So, my friend and I wrote the song together a little while back. Unfortunately, I couldn't be Confuzzled today. but it's one I played in, I think it was 2019, and then the whole not having a con for a couple of years thing happened, so, you know, second time's the charm. So it's a little song about some love between some dragons, the last two dragons in the world. So it's called Dragon Love Song, it goes like this. Your scales shine in the moonlight, your lovers stay in your cave tonight. I know you're nervous, but there's a lot riding on this. It's not easy, but the two of you are the last of your kind. She's looking your way. We both know that it's on her mind, so dragon, get your rocks off. Do it to save the world. There won't be any more dragons unless you're made for this girl. Dragon, get your rocks off. Gotta start your new flight. Once you bone this beautiful dragoness tonight. The rest of the song is basically like this. So I don't mean to pry. Would it help if the other dragon was a guy? Please don't bite. I'm not saying that out of spite. Can male dragons have eggs? If they did, would the kids still have legs? I don't know dragon biology, so lay this queen before you book mythology. Dragon, get your rocks off. The world is in your claws. There won't be any more dragons unless you two will lock jaws. Dragon, get your rocks off. Gotta start your new flight. We finally get some dragon tail tonight. The world's unstable, and only dragons can bring the balance back. Got to do this. Just thrust those hips like your horde's under attack. You're getting closer. She holds you, don't let go, sir. You're going to do it. Dragon, get your rocks off. Swing those dragon balls. Gotta tell her that you love her as you fuck to save us all. Yeah, dragon, get your rocks off. Gotta start your new flight. Will you hold her? I was so good until then. Will you hold her close and love this girl while you hot dragon sex save our world? Will there be another dragon egg tonight? Tonight. Thank you. Dragons, practice safe sex.
That was amazing. That was incredible. Excellent. It was based on a true story? How's everyone doing so far? Doesn't even have a tag yet, soon will. But yes, I'd like everyone to put their hands together for our next act. It is the incredibly wonderful Death Paw.
Now, I'm very socially awkward, so don't blame me if I mess anything up. Everyone doing it today? Great to hear. I'm hopeful that I am not the reason that changes. So, this is my very first Confuzzled, so I'm not quite sure how things locally work at this convention, but at the moment I've had a good time. Things have been alright, the weather's been good so far, at least, fingers crossed. I mean, considering it's England, I mean, the weather's never usually that good here. A bit about me, of course, I was introduced as Death Paw, but my real name is Roxy. and I originate from this lovely place down in the south, East London. Also known as, pardon my language, but East London is a shithole. So, yeah. But yeah, a bit more about me. I've been part of the fandom for around 4 years now, and I've had some of the best experiences of my life here. I've met some amazing people. I've embarrassed myself a couple of times, and yeah, it's just been a great experience for me so far. Last year, I got my chance to finally go to my very first convention, and it went all right. Apart from some things, let's just say a certain storm will never leave my mind ever again. If you know, you know. Reference to vocation last year. If you know, you know, yes. A bit more about me. I'm really into my gaming. I love video games, have for my entire life. And I'm actually aspiring to be a game developer myself, which is really interesting. Thank you. I've had a lot of trouble sometimes to just get things working, and you know, I sometimes have anxiety, so sometimes when things don't work, I have a massive breakdown. Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. What else about me? Is there really much more about me? I'm really not that interesting a person. I wish. Okay, back, so I'm very anxious, I'm very socially awkward, I have autism, so it really affects my social skills. I'm very good at being in my shell, and I find it hard to come out of it, which is ironic considering the fact that I'm both pansexual and transgender, so, you know, I should be used to being coming out all the time. Thank you. I'm invited, so I really not got much more in my thanks. So yeah, overall have a great day, and yeah, thank you for being a great audience.
Hey, that was fantastic. Oh gosh. Ekron.
Hi. That does not fit.
Yes, he is, as Carnops are prone to be, invisible as he does his work. Yes, mysterious. Ephemeral. Turns out that was because I didn't tell Carnops that I was ready to start the event. Who knows? Gosh. The list is gone, so...
If only there was some kind of schedule that would let them know.
I know, right? So strange.
You think I look at the schedule?
I certainly don't.
I don't.
Did anyone else need Twitter this year? Did anyone need Twitter last year?
Yeah.
Did anyone else kind of think it felt a bit like escaping from Raccoon City? Like, a corporation fucks everything, most of the people who are still around are all zombies, and the interesting people either flee or die. Let's hope it goes better with Blue Sky. But yes, it's time to welcome the next act. Their name is so fun to pronounce. It's Dovo.
So, act is a strong term, but Devore wrote some stuff an hour before this event started, and we're going to try it out. Yeah, so I thought I'd try and just challenge myself to write a couple of jokes around furries and software engineering. Because I assume, we're all furries, but I assume basically everyone in this room also works in tech. Is anyone not? Well, that is normally quite rare. Like a fox that tops.
Yeah, you're saying nothing.
Or a protogen that doesn't have problematic opinions. Speaking of protogens, I wrote this one down. How do you tell if a protogen is having digestive problems?
How?
Check the logs. What I expected was... But I'll fix it. I was thinking about travel recently. It takes 2 minutes to get to space. Why does it still take 2 fucking hours to get to Newcastle? It's faster to get to space on the shuttle than it is to get to the airport on the shuttle bus. What do furries and software both have in common?
What?
Bugs. This is completely left field. This has nothing to do with furries or software. Do you ever see a headline that begins with the words David Attenborough? And you start getting fucking worried, don't you? what's fucking happened to him? And then it turns out he's just released a documentary. Imagine how his family feels when he wakes up in the morning. I've got a software now on. I may be a git, but at least I can commit. I'm a software engineer. I know how to use Git. I know how to pull. Mercifully for you, this is a short bit. How are furries like software? Both run on Java. That was the correct response. How are furries like Virgin Media? Sorry. No, I got that wrong. Oh no, I got that wrong. How are furries like Virgin Media? They both go down a lot. How are they different? Virgin. How are foxes like USB? Plug and play.
I'm offended.
Well, you can write in the fucking feedback. How are bisexuals like USB-C?
Oh God.
Goes in both ways. Right, that's it. Thanks.
I keep putting this down. It's totally amazing. You wrote that an hour before? Fucking hell.
I'm quite drunk.
That does help, but it sounds like you were like writing jokes at fucking 100 times normal gravity or something, because that was amazing. Okay, please welcome Zoot to the stage for a second.
Wait, what?
I can't read this.
Oh.
Miss Hyde.
Miss Hyde, please welcome Miss Hyde. Woo!
I've never performed in a birthday party before, so this might be fun.
I would encourage you to yell.
Or deep throat mic. Okay, so for context for this, I grew up in a pub, and I made friends with like a lot of the music acts that perform at that pub, and I've known them since I was children. And when I listened to this album and heard this song by someone who I've known since I was a kid, my jaw dropped. I'll be your zookeeper, honey, if you let me feed your bush, baby. I'll be your zookeeper, honey, if you let me feed your bush, baby. Well, my menu's on the money, I got a real nice dish for you today. Let me come into your enclosure, I will clean you out 3 times a day. Well, let me come into your enclosure, I will clean you out 3 times a day. I got a shovel for your trouble, if you don't show me where you're traveling. Well, I'll be your engine driver, I'll show you how to ride. Well, I will be your engine driver, I'll show you how you can ride. I'll take you straight up be your beekeeper, honey, buzzing in and out your hive. I'll be your beekeeper, honey, buzzing in and out your hive. Well, I'm a heat seeker, honey, an exoset delivery kind of guy. I'll be your zookeeper, honey, if you let me be your bush. I'll be your zookeeper, honey, if you let me be your bush, baby. Well, my name's on the money, I got a real nice dish for you.
That was wondrous. Thank you very much. First time performing in the person there, that was pretty amazing. How's everyone doing so far? Should stop recording now. And I should also stop with this running gag, it's getting a bit creepy. Well, everyone, to now welcome to the stage an incredibly funny person. It's Mustang! They're not ready yet, so they want me to skip to the next person.
To decode this mixer, and it's basically like NORAD, so bear with me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wasn't that brilliant, folks? Tech-tastic. Yes, this is what happens when you show up to your event instead of going to con ops and saying, I'm ready to start my event. Yes, I'll probably forget. But let's bring to the stage next the very incredible Taylor.
I'm very well prepped.
More so than us.
Am I?
More than Mustang.
Yeah.
That's the same mistake I made.
It's easy to throw shade at con ops.
Very easy.
Very easy, yes. Are you able to hold this with your horses?
I can try.
Okay, everyone's not here to yell at me, so that's fine.
Hooray!
Be the stand.
This is a hold it, right?
Yeah.
Hang on. Eat the mic.
Eat the mic.
There we go. That works.
Jokes too, so I can't do any standing things. But yes.
It's after the horse check, we're fine. Hello. Okay, right. So, thank you. I'll be here all night, I hope. So, I'm going to do what I did last year and just tell a bunch of stories. So, hopefully we'll get those. So, my day has been exciting by the fact that work has told me, hey Taylor, you know that holiday you booked? Sorry, you can't have Friday. So, instead, whilst all of you have been having a really fun time, I'm not going to because I've been having to do my job and having to deal with phone calls. Now, who has done call centre work before?
Yeah.
There's only one person, and quite frankly, what's your opinion of it? I'm so sorry to put you on the spot.
Not fun.
It's not fun?
Not fun.
I think that's putting it very, very, very lightly.
Oh, you did it for us.
So, have you ever done it in a hotel before?
No.
Let me tell you, it's an interesting experience having to hear, quite frankly, not great music, while having to speak in, let's face it, the voice that is not mine. So basically you can hear, whilst also trying to say, hello, you're calling company, how can I help today? It's a very interesting experience, I can tell you that for a fact. Also happen to look outside of my fantastic view of the Moxie, which, let me tell you, if you have an exciting view of the Moxie, you're not in the best place, I should say. So another thing as well, unrelated to work, thankfully, because quite frankly I'm fucking done with it for the rest of the week. Oh, it's Friday, definitely. So who was at NFT? I've got a few of you. So NFT was fucking fantastic. I think we can all agree with that. Like, nothing wrong with the con whatsoever. This is fucking war, Jesus Christ. So NFT was great, fantastic. Like, literally no flaws with the convention whatsoever.
the biggest problem I had with going to NFC was actually, funny enough, leaving Copenhagen Airport. So we got there about 2 hours before we were meant to go back to our flight. And we thought 2 hours, plenty of time. And then we got to security. Now, to those who were at NFC, did you fly as well? How was security for yourself? I think I'll take all right, because that was better than my experience. So imagine looking at the little board that says, oh, security 10 minutes. Fucking fantastic. That means I can do whatever, go back to 25 million 7-Elevens to go down on the way there. There's so many 7-Elevens, like, I'm not that good at maths. So once I got to security, I was like, cool, brilliant. Stand here. 10 minutes later, I was still in the exact same spot. No idea what was happening. I can only imagine that they were probably moving the entirety of the security team. Again. And once I got to my spot, I was like, cool, finally here. About an hour to spare, that's cool. I'm still playing time. Then they checked my bag and I was like, shouldn't have taken a bit too long. I had a little peek at the little screen they had with so much stuff in there. Interesting stuff, I should say. A lot of cylinders, let's go with that. And then it got to my bag, and it was basically just a blob of black. Now, as far as the way I didn't put tar in there, but it basically consisted of all kinds of furry paraphernalia, as you can probably imagine, not that kind. I know we're furry convention, it's not that kind. That's the Confuzzled, that's the demons anyway. So obviously you had to get checked. I was like, okay, cool. This will take like 10 minutes, it'll be fine. 25 minutes later, I was still standing there. No one touched my bag. I was like, I'm pretty sure I was like, that's the rest of my set, by the way, just me standing like that. I'm going to give you the realistic experience of me trying to leave Copenhagen Airport. That way. So, as soon as it got to my point, I was like, cool, finally I checked my bag, there was like 20 minutes left. And because I flew EasyJet, of course, naturally they decided that instead of putting us in a gate nearby, they decided to do it in fucking Iceland. The store, by the way, not the country. And I think the thing that got me the most was like they were checking all the bags and were like, yep, all good. Got to the back of the backpack, which had the con book and everything like that for NFC. And the lovely lady, who was lovely, I'll give her that, said, oh, you're Italian, aren't you? I've already seen all of DNA. I don't know what B-Stars is, but I've heard it's good. I think that's probably the most offended I've ever been, is being told I like anime. I've been told so many things. I've been told the F word. That's about it. The anime fan is probably a bit too far. If you like your anime, power to you. I don't know what Naruto is. But, not for me, being told about an anime fan, we kind of know what they're like, to be honest. None of you are like that. I imagine you're all very, very great and, actually practice hygiene in the 621 rule, as opposed to look at your anime fans who they need to follow rules. So, as soon as we left security, I had to run for about 10 minutes. Running for about 10 seconds is probably my limit. As soon as we got there, plane was delayed. So you can imagine my surprise, just like, I could have been there for another hour, that'd be fine. That was fun. And I think one last thing as well, just to mention. For those that remember me last year, I'm sorry that I'm back. But also, I've got a first sit now. So, it's an interesting experience to those that haven't worn a fursuit before. First of all, God fucking hell, it's hot. Like, it's literally a kind of hot is indescribable. But at the same time, I'm going to end on a lovely story. Back to NFC. So one thing they did do at NFC was like a kind of open deck, whereby they just had family, kids, and everything like that going down. just to kind of say, hey, here's what furries do. We're not. I was going to say we're not kind of miscreants and things like that, but some of us are. But no, it was a fantastic experience. I think like the part that made it was that by the time the NFC was done, I'd had the first for like 3 weeks, so it was still very, very new. I think the best part about it was seeing just 2 girls right about there, pointing at me in excitement, thankfully, and just coming up to hug me and pat me on the head, and I just thought, Jesus Christ, Big Dog is great. Big Dog is fucking fantastic. And I think after that, I think I cried a little bit. And then after that, I decided, yeah, first it was great. I haven't done anything else with it other than do this kind of thing. It also makes me wonder, like, how the hell do people do that? I can't. I'm still learning. Someone got it. Someone got it. How are they doing this? Because it's not enough as it is. Just like this, I think I get heat exhaustion in about 3 seconds. Maybe heat stroke in about 5. I don't know what's worse. 1 or 2. So, before I pass out, I will let you get on. I think Shiro probably. Shiro, I'm so sorry.
He does know anime.
Sorry?
He does know anime.
I was on about the raccoon. Sure, you got your name right. Before they kick me off the stage, I'm going to say, hope I'm good and puzzled, and hopefully I've made you laugh a little bit. And please come to the furry card on Monday. Please do, because I will try to be funny as well.
I would never kick you off the stage. I would simply take the ball that those Texas teachers are using to root out furries in their school and throw it. Yeah, you can see a bit of ace representation. It's very refreshing to be ace because people aren't sure if they hate us yet. J.K. Rowling to plug what she thinks. Yes. So I will say it again. If anyone has not heard me or is ignoring me, it's like a good one like that. Just kidding. If anyone wants to sign up or has signed up and is not sure what structure it is, please come over and put your name on the list to perform.
I'll do it.
Awesome. Brilliant.
I've risen off, it's fine.
Yes. God, I'm not sure if I'd be capable of doing that in the first script. Talk about a heat stroke. But yes, I will welcome to the stage Mustang because I assume that he is ready. He is ready! Woo! Mustang! Does not need the mic.
I need this mic. Is this mic working?
It's fucking powerful!
Can you hear me out there?
We could.
Can you still hear me out there? Am I only coming from that side of the room? Welcome to Mono Comedy. Well, it's going well. Drum and bass. I should have brought a longer cable, I'm sorry. I'm sitting down, not because I'm taking a sort of relaxed approach to this. I have a black box here that I put on my lap. And then if I say things into the black box and press things into the black box and press things into the black box and press things into the black, it repeats them. You may have seen one of these used before. If not, then you'll get the gist of it eventually. Things into the black box and press 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 things into the black box. that's not already clear, these are not rehearsed songs that I'm performing for you. I'm what I think is technically known as dicking around. I'm still not happy with anything that I've created so far, so I feel I need some inspiration from the room. Can I have some words of inspiration, some words of guidance? What have we got?
Chicken!
Diva!
Okay, I've been loaded with inspiration. I heard hyena and haggis for some reason.
Diva! Honda Civic! Chicken jockey!
Get out! Leave!
No, you're kind of in there.
Packing paws in the house, y'all. Quiet.
Yeah, why is it
Quiet.
so quiet?
Quiet.
Okay.
Am I being inspiring enough to set the alarm off?
Let's go. I need a really nice Hagen sound. Are we ready? So 3, 4. Hagen. 4. Talking Hagen. This guy's name, his name is Hagen. We're talking 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 Hagen. Yeah, we're talking Hagen. 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 We're talking not Hagen does. We're talking Hagen. We're talking. Would you like to throw some fire on this beat? We're talking Hagen. We're talking. No. That was the Hagen song. Thank you.
That was soft core.
What?
That was soft core.
Soft core, yeah. We've got more people to come on, haven't we? So I should probably go away. Thank you all, goodbye.
That was fire. Trolley. TV. I'm not sure who's here now. We have Pep and Zurag on the list.
We survived.
Woo!
And you came back.
Yeah!
Yes. So if Pep is here, I'd like to announce them. I'm announcing Pep. Woo! And here's the mic.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to start by saying, if you all saw the lights on there, that was me. Also, this is my first Confuzzled ever. I was going to join with a friend of mine, but he couldn't make it, so I have a whole hotel room to myself. Yeah! But, what was that?
Party of Peps.
Okay, so I wanted to just like start by saying a little bit about me. Be conscious of time because we have like 7 minutes.
You're fine, don't worry.
So I've been to a couple conventions before this. I've been to ScotiaCon, I've been to FWA. If you've seen an Italian rolling around. So I'm just gonna get right into a little story about my 22nd birthday, which was a few days ago. Woo! So, Six Flags. This is not gonna be funny. This is gonna be disgusting. This is talking about how I got sunburned to Kingdom Come and then decided to go to a Confuzzled. So, Six Flags. There was apparently just a plan for me to go to Six Flags, so I was just like, okay, alright, fuck it, we'll do it. So, it started out perfectly fine, me and my friends just kind of going on our first ride. Two of our friends, right, had never been on a roller coaster before. So you can probably tell, we didn't go on any normal shit. We went on the fucking Daredevil. That shit was wild. And so I was sat there next to one of my friends, and I was like, this was one of the friends who had not been on a roller coaster before, and I was like, have you ever seen Final Destination? That is not something you want to say to someone who has never been on a roller coaster before. Well, fuck it, you know? So it happened. I made the mistake of wearing a tank top in 28 degrees Celsius heat with no sun lotion. This will come into play later. So that was out of the way. It was just like, oh yeah, how's your first ride? And it's just like, I felt like I was going to die. It's like, you got it. That's the thrill. So it just kept on going on eventful stuff. And then another friend of mine, Will, we'll call him Will, he went on a ride that, considering how it went kind of almost upside down, you'd think it would have more restraint to it, like you'd have like a full thing. No, it was only a mess. And let's just say, if any of you all have seen Family Guy, I hate to bring it up, I'm sorry, but if you've seen Family Guy, it's like Will kind of sounded like Joe being dragged away by Peter's spirit friends from that one. I'm making myself laugh. So he was just like, I don't think roller coasters are proud. And I was just like, on the surface, I was just like, yeah, fair enough. I kind of wanted to call him a pussy, but like I felt like that would be rude, so I kind of just didn't. But you know, this was calm before the storm. I could feel the tingling happening. Let's just fast forward to the end, where I left Six Flags feeling like I was just going through pain and misery. Got home, got back to my motel room. I held it in front of everyone else, and as soon as I entered that motel room, all I did was ah! Yeah, I was in that much pain, and you can see why I put the microphone away. I didn't want to interrupt everybody's hearing. Turns out it hit my shoulders really hard, and I found out the hard way because I'm a dumbass that you should never put band-aids on blisters. Sorry, I did say this was going to be disgusting. I'm not going to go into detail, just to save the mental image. But it kind of looked like something out of Live League. How's that for a funny little event? Honestly, they're a lot better now, but like, if I ever go back to Six Flags next year, because I kind of dedicated to a yearly thing, I think I'm just going to take some lotion. And I'm not going to deal with it Oh, I forgot to mention that on one of the rides, someone thought this was fucking Minecraft and decided to press Q and offload their water bottle all over us. I should have started with that sooner. That probably would have gotten some chuckles out before like subjecting a whole crowd to a really awkward story. Anyway, thank you for listening, and you know, if you see me around the convention, just say hi.
I'm sorry about the water. Wasn't thinking at the time.
It's all good.
I know the furry family can be a funny place. Let's move on. Next, we've got the incredibly, amazingly awesome Surag.
Thank you very much for having me. Sure. Well, we're all a little bit damp now. That was the whole thing. I'm going to take any reduced chuckle levels in the audience as a fact that we just lost 70% of them, not that my jokes are shit. Personally hyping myself up a little bit. Well, first night, and going to start out, essentially, I apologise if anyone saw me in Scotia, there's going to be a little bit of overlap. Now, weird question to start off with. Did anyone grow up with any rich friends? Just, yeah? Little bit resentment, a little bit jealousy, just how dare they have it. So, I understand, quantify the level of rich. 3-acre garden and 2 ride-along lawnmowers so they can use the rivalry of 2 brothers to mow it faster rich. That's the level we're talking about. Now, parties, excellent. Once every year, would rent a series of inflatable assault courses and line them up in a row, and then we would put the sprinklers either side, we would hook up fairy liquid instead of plant feeder, and make it an absolute hellscape to get through. But, to us young'uns, was really fun. Wasn't so fun for the chap who owned the bouncy inflatables, and he came along this particular year, this old Polish chap, please, do not. Last time I have 3 people I need to bring this to afterwards, and there was 4 inches of water at the bottom. And being the little shits we were, we're there to absolutely, we will not do it once again, as we are moving the sprinklers into place, just hooking up the fairy liquid already. So we have 3 of them lined up, all ready to go. Now we didn't realise it at the time, but we neglected a part of construction. If anyone started off on any of these bouncy assault courses, they start off with a nice little 8-foot hump. Way! A second 8-foot hump. Way! So we all start, we line up one by one, over the top, and then about 4 or 5 people go over, and we start to hear, no, stop, we heedless, one after another, about 12 people in, it starts to become clear that something is very wrong. Now that second hump is supposed to have a lattice rope ladder attached to it, and it turns out that when you pump the entire thing full of fairy liquid with sprinklers from either side, what you do is you create a lube trap from which no one can escape. And what you've just done is you've just launched about 18 young people into it wearing nothing but swimming trunks, where they're instantly blinded by fairy liquid and just flopping together in a rough approximation of a human ball. Just was about 10 minutes, wasn't pleasant, and someone had to deflate the entire thing so we could be released out of the side, pretty much like the rhino scene from Ace Ventura. It was not pleasant, not even in the slightest. Now, considering what just happened, this is a little bit weird, the next one I'm going to go to, but the night of the previous evacuation, back in 2024, when they interrupted the only metal set of the entire con and yeeted us all out into the car park with the fire alarm. Beforehand, I was with this chap who'd never been to a rave before and was, I need some sort of gear to put on, and reached into his collection. His partner was coming in a week and he bought a collar. And he was, maybe I'll just try it. Looks in the mirror. When you can hear the achievement pop up for new kink unlocked, as you can see someone staring in the mirrors, oh no. Yeah, he kept it. But then immediately afterwards, we attend the rave, we are yeeted out in the car park with everyone else. And at that point, I decided to be altruistic, I have my car keys. After an unfortunate incident where I was stranded on the M1 for 6 hours many years ago, I always keep emergency water in the car. I say, fairies, come on over. Anyone in the suit? I'll start the hydration station. At which point, at the time, head of customer services comes over, and we get into a little bit of a, oh, this is my friend with a collar. And she gets competitive almost. She's like, oh, this is my emotional support twink. To which I get even more, no, this is my emotional support twink. Ridiculous. And now, because I had to work in a joke about the evacuation, I'm going to do the terrible sin of checking my notes. So, recently got in a relationship, lovely, and one thing that I didn't count on. So, I think we're at a fairy convention, we can all agree dogs are great. That's a general rule we can all, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, controversial opinion in the front. But, never having inherited dogs as part of a relationship before, there were certain things that I was not prepared for. For example, dog one, small, corgi, is very used to having the bed and having their owner to themselves. Then doesn't know what's happening during sexy times, and it's very distracting when a tiny corgi head appears on your shoulder, just, what are you doing to my mother? Ah! But that wasn't the worst. The worst was the old fluffy boy who just decided, at the very conclusion of one succession, to lay down in the doorway, and I'm just going to pop to the toilet. Hey boy, can I get out? Hello? Hello? Oh no. Not now. Not now. No. Panic starts to set in. Accelerate. Partner comes over, she goes, oh, how are you? He instantly, the most shit-eating grin, looks directly at me, knows exactly what he's done, pads away and goes to sleep in the other corner, content that he's just made my life that little bit worse. But that's the thing as well, there was a workshop part in here when I was thinking how to fill my 5 minutes, when I was first going to do this, when I messaged Shaw, and I was showing my partner, I was like, I kind of want to work in a joke about, off the back of something a friend said, about being a straight cis white guy who has stolen a bi girl from the fandom. At which point my partner advised me, do not do that. They will not like that. The other furries will get you. And I was like, come on. Furries are an accepting bunch. What are they going to do to me? At which point she looked at me candidly and said, it will probably involve lube, lots of people, and a giant inflatable. And I know that you have trauma there. Thank you very much.
Absolutely fantastic. Wow. I think we've reached the point where the folks who are left to perform are having a second go. So if anyone else wants to sign up, would you still have some time? About 25 minutes, I think? Yep. Well, thanks. That's my emotional support drink. Sorry. So yes, if anyone else wants to sign up, please come. Until then, we've got, please put your paws back together for the incredibly awesome Devo.
So I do want to just start with just a moment of silence for all the people that we lost in the fire. No, right, okay, I'll do my actual proper stuff, which is about veganism. Any vegans in? No. 2, fantastic. Presumably the rest are all at sale for tofu. I went vegan at the start of the year, and I think there's some fantastic reasons to be vegan. I think it's kind of for the animals, better for the climate. So what I'm concerned about, really, I'm really concerned about all the emissions from all the Teslas And then I keep saying fight. There are some subtle reasons as well. Like if you are someone who's indecisive about what you want to eat at a restaurant, veganism is fantastic for that. Because there are two options: falafel and fuck off. Like McDonald's, their vegan option is the McPlant. And kind of a bit like the regular McDonald's hamburger. You know, the name doesn't actually tell you what's in it. Could be beef. Could be horse. Could be your neighbour's missing dog. There's a company Alpro. They do a thing called This Is Not Milk. This is not. Fuck is it then? They could put anything in those cartons and trading standards wouldn't be able to touch them. You just open it and just wasps come flying out. Just be like, you said it wasn't milk. It'd be a bit like if Bad Dragon started selling their dildos as this is not cock. It's a meat-free alternative. I was at the office the other day and I was making myself a cup of tea. And my colleague comes over and notices I'm using soy milk. And he says to us, you know, that can make you infertile. And I immediately thought to myself, that's why I can't get pregnant. I thought that. I didn't say that though. I didn't want to have another meeting with HR. But what I actually said was, I don't think that's true. And he says to me, well, if you have too much. Well, of course, if you have too much, that's bad. That's what too much means. If you have too much water, you drown. He also says to me, you know, I heard it makes you grow boobs. And I know that soy milk doesn't make you grow boobs. Because if soy milk made you grow boobs, which it doesn't, I would never be able to buy soy milk, would I? Because it would always be sold out, wouldn't it? Because it would all have been bought up by trans women. Trans women and bullied teenagers. I do think veganism is a net benefit to the world. I really do, which is why I was really grateful at the start of the year that my local council made a post on Facebook, which I thought was very innocuous. It just said, try vegan. So, 2 words, try vegan. This was on Facebook, wasn't it? People on Facebook like to have opinions, don't they?
He's got receipts.
First there was Alice, who posted, why the council promoting an unhealthy diet? I heard an influencer did a vegan diet and died. Thing is, like, influencers die doing stupid shit all the time. I read about this one influencer who, she was driving the car and she decided to take a selfie while leaning out of it. Surprisingly, she fell out of the car, ran herself over, dead. Which is to say, influencers are not the fastest hamsters on the wheel. There was also Gary, who, in a fit of misdirected rage, yelled, "What are you going to do about the potholes?" Well, potholes are just, you know, gaps in the tarmac where the tarmac used to be, which is, you know, just air, I guess. Which is vegan. So. And finally, there was Brian, who posted, I think you need milk for calcium. I think it's weird to drink nut juice. Lol. At this point, I'm sad. I normally throw a piece of paper away, but I didn't bring a piece of paper. I don't want to throw the phone. 3 things. First of all, there are other sources. Calcium, oat milk is a good source of calcium. Secondly, you're clearly in your 70s, and I think it's weird that you're breastfeeding. And finally, Brian, the final thing is, it is a bit weird. To me, as a bisexual man, you call it nut juice. And I said, that's not thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The second set as well. It's really brilliant. The horse meat thing reminded me of something that happened once. So I used to write for a retail publication, and whilst doing so, I once wrote a story where I referenced the Iceland horse meat scandal. And if you're old enough to remember this, is when Iceland had a bunch of lasagnas which were found to contain horse, which people weren't very happy about. And so I referenced it. And the next day, Iceland got in touch with the publication in order to let us know that they were suing me. And here's why. It turns out the UK have different standards to Europe when it comes to tainted food. In Europe, anything over 0.5% is considered meat. In the UK, in Europe it's 0.05% is considered meat. In the UK, it's 0.5%. So Iceland was suing me because I said their food contained horse meat instead of horse DNA, which sounds way fucking worse. Horse meat sounds like a fuck up at the factory. Horse DNA sounds like the lasagnas were already made and someone left a door unlocked, a horse kind of wandered in, looked at all the lasagnas and thought, yes. Thankfully they didn't end up suing me. And I've never told this in stand-up before, so sadly I don't have an end to the joke. So I'll just announce the next act. Someone who very bravely came and asked if they could have a go. They're wonderful, and there's different ways to pronounce this, so I'm sorry. Clementine/Clementine. Woo! It's cool. I'd say let's break down the house, but I don't want to evacuate again.
Thank you. So, apologies, this is the first time I've done anything like this, and I'm not prepared, I'm just going to waffle on a bit. Sorry for the accent, can't help it, been here for 2 years, it's not fixed itself. But, so I love stand-up, always have, and one of my favourite things about stand-up is crowd work. One of my favourite bits is, what do you do for a living? And if I ever go to a stand-up show, I'm sitting in the front row, front seat, and I'm begging that that stand-up comedian picks me and asks, what do you do for a living? Because at the minute, the answer to that is, I'm a librarian in a prison. Not kidding. Yeah, you think it's weird if you see co-workers here? You see co-workers here, they're awkward. If I see people from work here, I have to fill out forms. Librarian sounds really, really wholesome, really wholesome job. In a prison, changes the vibe a bit. That's like saying, oh, I make honey in North Korea. Now, working in a prison, there's a couple things to you. I've been at the prison I've been in for about 1.5 years. First thing, not to flex guys, but I'm really, really good now at going through airport security. Just natural fucking instinct. Bag down. Yeah, how are you? Yeah, thanks. Bag gone. Not to brag, but I've fucking mastered it, because that's just going into work for me. Another thing that I've recently developed, even though I've been there for about 1.5 years now, they've only just decided maybe 2 weeks ago to put me through self-defense training. It seems like something that should be at the top of the fucking list, before you, get the keys and everything, and, you're face-to-face with murderers. You think that'd be first thing on the list, but no. I've only just done it, and before I went, all of the co-workers I've done before were like, oh, Liv, it's gonna be awful. You're gonna come back shattered, and it's Vietnam flashbacks and everything. I had a blast. I'm not the most athletic person ever, I get it. I'm more personality driven, but I'll tell you what, I go in there, for context, I had to buy gym kit because I didn't even own fucking trainers. So, going in my Primark gym kit like, oh God, what am I gonna expect? And the guys are just, right, Here are about 5 different ways for you to put pressure on someone's collarbone and make the criminal stop. Cool. Had a blast, then went into work the next day thinking, you fucking badass, yeah, you? Fucking get back, I'll fucking take you. He's in fucking life for murdering 5 people, but yeah, sure, get back, I'll take you. And it started changing my attitude with talking to the guys a bit. You're not supposed to. Well, you're allowed to have favorites, but you can't fucking tell them it. But my favorite at the minute, who works in the library, allowed to hire prisoners, whack. Oh God, there's a TV back there, didn't know that. He's about a 60-year-old man, and he's got this impression that I'm quite violent and brutal now because of this training. So anytime someone mildly inconveniences me, he mutters, "God, she's gonna get the fucking table leg and rattle him in." Oh God, he's fucking toast. And I've sort of built this up a bit with the meme. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. As a response to, if you're mildly inconvenienced or disgusted, just go like electric chair. Not the best thing to say in a prison, I'll be honest. So now they think, oh, sweet little Yankee Doodle American girl. Fucking say this, she'll fucking kill every single one of you. But being from America and coming over here to work I work in a management job in a prison. I run the library. So Nigel Farage would say like, oh, these immigrants are coming in and taking the jobs. I don't think that's what he necessarily meant, just me, Yankee Doodle, running a library in a prison, but fair play. But another thing that I've learned is a lot of British slang from being in a prison. And as someone who's not from this country, who loves the accents by the way, I sort of like, through the day, after hearing a lot of it, I mimic it. So I sound quite American now, but at the end of the day at work, I sound like I'm from the fucking council estate. And this one story is actually quite bad. For context, I'm slowly learning what words mean and what slang means in this country. And this is by no means intentional, but we've got this policy in prison where you're not allowed to vape. And we had big signage, no vaping, quite aggressive, exclamation point, everything, bold. And I have a couple of these posters in the library, and a couple of months ago, this one prisoner that I've got a bit of rapport with comes in. Also, didn't know prisoners were allowed to vape, fun fact. And I turn around, he's leaning right against the shelf where I've got the no vaping poster. I say, mate, you really picked the worst place to do that. Fucking stop it. He gives me, because we've got a good rapport, he gives me one of those like cheeky little smirks. Then he strolls behind the aisle of bookshelves, and I just see smoke coming up behind the bookshelves. I don't think he was like smoke signaling how to do prison hours, but you never know. And I meant this because in America, when you're taking a hit of a vape, you're puffing on a vape. I just want to put that out there before I say this next thing. So I, quite loudly and quite proudly go, oi, puff, get out! Now, that would have been fine because he didn't hear it at first. But then, this cunting prisoner, who's such a smartass, who worked for me at the time, decided to repeat it full chest. Did you just call that prisoner a puff? And then I have to, oh, sorry. Meanwhile, I'm laughing. Sorry. Day ends. I immediately go up to the head of education's office. Ricky, we might get a form or a complaint sent back to this department. What have you done this time? Funny story. I thought I was going to lose my job. He couldn't stop fucking laughing. That's about it. Thank you, guys.
We've had an eventful evening. More exercise than I thought I would get from comedy open mic. We've got 2 more people. I'd like to welcome the penultimate act. Don't rush on to the stage too quickly. Mr. Leroy Jenkins. I don't have any drink.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone here. So, obviously, as you probably gathered, my name is, Leroy Jenkins. Well, I mean, my actual name is Lee Jenkins, but I've just come to the point of just calling myself Leroy because every time I tell someone my name, literally the first thing is, Leroy Jenkins! So, I've just come to live with it at this point. And not only that, this is also, well, my first convention as well. Happy to be here. First ever very convention, as a matter of fact. So yeah, and also one of my first time doing sort of stand-up. So you are excused to throw tomatoes if this turns out shit. So you are forgiven if I wake up in the trash. You know, you live and learn. So anyway, I've come down all the way from the south for a nice little weekend away up here in Birmingham, all the way from Bognor Regis, which is an absolute shithole. I mean, we do have one thing there. I'm sure some of you might have heard of Butlins, and I remember, I say remember, my sister currently works at the moment, and I remember recently she told me there was a Japanese family staying there. And my first thought was, you came all the way from Japan, you could go anywhere in the world, you could have gone to Australia, you know, or you could have gone to Kenya or Safari. No, kids, pack your bags, we're going to Bognor Regis to go see Mr. Tumble and a Billy Bear, I suppose. Oh, the kids must have been devastated, man. Like, they could, like imagine opening that little gift, like they're finding, like, oh, we're gonna go to Disneyland Paris or something. No, you're going to fucking Butlins. Like, imagine the fucking shock on their faces as they scream through the airport, like, Mum, I don't want to go to fucking Butlins. I want to go to Disney World or Orlando, you know? Well, too bad. So yeah, now as I'm sure, obviously we're all here together tonight because we all celebrate being in the Berry Band, and which is obviously, sorry, excuse me, it's all wonderful to be here and for all being able to express yourselves and being yourself, you know, absolutely amazing, and I much more admire that than anything in the world. So with that in mind, obviously I'm sure before we've all been buried, or confirmed ourselves as buried, I'm sure we've had points where like we've had that stage of denial or like that sort of like slow upbringing of like, it's sort of, how do I put it, like, you're slowly it sort of creeps in subtly over time as a child. So maybe you watch Robin Hood as a kid, for example, and then you slowly grow up, and then you start drawing cartoon animals, like I currently am. And you just don't really think about it. You just think, oh, I just enjoy drawing these cartoon animals and everything, you know, like, absolutely fun. And yeah, I got into it quite a bit for a while, and then got to college, and as I say, I never really showed my drawings until I went into college, because I was sort of on and off with it. And then as soon as I started showing my amber animals, people started saying, oh, you're a fairy. I'm like, no, I just draw amber animals. What do you mean? I'm just drawing cartoon animals. And I mean, this was also around the time when Zootopia was released, which was like, what, almost 10 years ago now, if that. So pretty crazy to think it was that long ago. So anyway, fast forward, obviously seeing Zootopia come out, I mean, that was kind of the inspiration for some of my work. Started to slowly creep into the fairy fandom slowly, but obviously at the time, like, if you told me at the time that like I'd be here right now at a fairy convention, I would have told you you're fucking crazy. So yeah, I'm going to shoe nevertheless on that front. But yeah, obviously over time I continued doing my art and continued drawing onwards and everything. And then that's when I hit uni one day. And I met a friend there that also happens to be Barry. And of course, I get the same sort of like, oh, you're Barry, you're Barry art. And I'm like, well, no, I'm just, again, the same sort of bluff as I said before, I just draw out for animals, that's all I'm doing. I don't really see it as that. Like, I mean, in hindsight, obviously, that's how I perceived it at the time, but obviously now I look back and I just sort of feel like, just call it what it is. And yeah, so I think it was a few years later, just after COVID, obviously I'm still doing, I say I'm still doing, I've sort of kind of been on off, I was on a hiatus for a while, kind of debating whether to continue art or not, got back into it. And then one day I saw the trailer for Bad Guys. And once I saw that, I was like, guys, you know what you said, I do fairy art, right? No, sorry, I think you're right, I think I'm a fairy. That wolf is fucking hot. Like, goddamn, you caught me there. So, nevertheless, I kind of just come to accept that. And, well, damn boy, looking back, I've been drawing cartoon animals all this time, and I just sort of bluffed it. I was like, hey, look, I'm just drawing cartoon animals, I'm just doing Bugs Bunny, I'm just doing all this shit. Just leave me alone. But now I'm just like, yeah, just whatever, I'm a fairy artist, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I do still have a hard time sort of telling my, well, not my friends and stuff, but like other people, that's what I do and stuff. So currently, for context, prior to this event, obviously I do a job, I go do deliveries and stuff as a job at the moment, and just to make some income. And sometimes you're going around, and I mean, constantly I'm getting old people coming up to me saying, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm like, I'm going to a convention. Like, what kind of convention? It's like, how do I put this? Art convention, just because, I don't know, I'm just, it's like, what, you're pretty confused. And they're like, what's that? What's that? What's Bad Dragon? So, it's like, you just don't want to, you know. So, yeah. But yeah, anyway, guys, appreciate the time, even if that was a bit of a disaster, but nevertheless, I had my good time up here, I had a pleasant moment. Thank you for being a good audience.
We're a bit out of time, the fire burned through our time. I'll come back next year with something better, I'm sure, than the fire. So, we've got one more act, and I'm not sure why I'm holding my phone instead of the piece of paper that has the names of all the acts on, but luckily I know this person quite well. Please welcome Timberwolf!
Thank you. Anyone here still awake? Anyone here still sober? Fortunately, I'm neither. So, good thing tomorrow morning I've forgotten a lot, so all's well. Tonight, I'm talking to you about coming out. Not me, I hasten to add, but how we tell our nearest and dearest that we're a furry. Unfortunately, some people don't always do it that well. They sort of go to their parents, sit them down, I've got something I've got to tell you. I'm into this, and I need to stress I'm not into it because of the sex of the porn or anything like that. Totally legit, and of course that just gets them worried. The way I got into the furry fandom, first of all, watching clips on YouTube, my inbox got fuller and fuller, and went to my first meet, nervous, but then saw the fursuits, got into it straight away. And one thing I would like to say, the best thing about the fandom, seeing children, people interacting with the fursuits at the London Fairs, you see two different reactions, either people ignoring fursuits or interacting with them. And some great stories, but I'm going to keep it short. A couple of jokes for you. First of all, what's the difference between a fox and a mosquito? the mosquito stop sucking after you slap it. I like that one. And the second joke, a stag walks up to a gay bar, said, "Cannot believe I blew $50 in there."
Thank you so much to me. We got some belly laughs for that. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone who took part, and thanks everyone who came to watch, everyone who take part as well. This is the third time I think I've done this. It's the second time actually. And coming to Confuzzled to do comedy is always one of the huge highlights for me. Because people are usually very supportive. Like everyone. But we have run out of time, unfortunately. Con-ops are going to break everyone's legs if he lets us keep going. So
About legs, I think you've done to tell you to go away.
Gorgeous legs as well. But thank you so much for coming, guys. We are doing Furry Card, which is another comedy show on Monday morning. We might appear at the open mic, who knows. There will also be some comedy at the talent show. With some comedians who relish being judged. But everyone here, I hope you have a good, well, rest of the day now, because it's midnight. But thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful rest of the day.